What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be very informative and interesting as we're going to discuss some basic and very important things. That is Bitcoin and blockchain. We will go from the basics up to its working principles, so make sure to give the video a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's move forward. It all started in 2009 when an unknown person or group of people who called themselves Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto's identity remains unknown to this day. Satoshi Nakamoto developed a new electronic monetary system totally decentralized with no server or central authority. After developing the concept and technology, Nakamoto handed up the source code and domains to others in the Bitcoin community in 2011 and then disappeared. So how does Bitcoin work? Let's talk about it. Bitcoin, in its most basic definition, is a form of digital currency. It doesn't need any printed notes or any coins. And unlike traditional currencies, Bitcoins are not printed by a central authority. Rather, they are mined by extremely powerful computers that are connected to the internet. You can own Bitcoins without revealing your identity. So, rather than utilizing names, tax IDs, or social security numbers, Bitcoin uses encryption keys to link buyers and sellers. Unlike traditional currency, Bitcoin isn't printed by the government. Instead, it can be mined. Anyone having access to high-end essential hardware can mine Bitcoin by completing a mix of complex arithmetic and record-keeping. This is how the process goes. When one user transmits Bitcoin to another user, the network creates what is known as a block to record that transaction together with all of the other transactions that have been done over a specific time period. These transactions are recorded in Bitcoin's enormous digital ledger by computers running specialized software, which are referred to as miners. The collection of these data is referred to as the blockchain, and it is an immutable record that anybody with an internet connection can view of all the transactions that have ever been conducted. Miners take these blocks and turn them into a sequence of codes. To do this, miners use specialized software and hardware that is both more powerful and energy-intensive. It's a lot more exciting than it seems. Generating a hash takes a significant amount of processing power, and thousands of miners are competing against each other to generate it. It's like a bunch of different vendors or producers in a mad dash to produce a brand new product that's difficult. And the only one who gets paid is the one who finishes first with a product that's flawless. So when a new hash is formed, it is added to the very end of the blockchain. The blockchain is then updated publicly and the information is spread across the world. The value of a Bitcoin is determined by a number of factors. The price that individuals are willing to pay for a Bitcoin ultimately determines the digital currency's worth. There is, in this regard, a parallel to be drawn with the pricing of stocks. According to the system that Satoshi Nakamoto developed, there can only ever be a total of 21 million Bitcoins produced. And as of right now, more than 19 million have been mined. So there is a limited quantity, similar to gold and other precious metals. But there is no true value that comes from the item itself. Numerous hypotheses, based mostly on mathematics and economics, attempt to explain why Nakamoto settled on the figure of 21 million. In this way, Bitcoin is not the same as stocks because of this distinction. Stocks often have some kind of connection to the current or projected earnings of a corporation. Moving forward, let's talk about blockchain now. Well, guys, the blockchain and cryptocurrencies are independent on each other. The blockchain is a database of transactions that are protected by encryption and authenticated by users on a peer-to-peer network. This is how the process goes. The blockchain is not kept in a single location. Rather, it is dispersed over a number of computers and devices that are connected to the network. Nodes are the names given to these individual systems. Every node stores its own copy of the blockchain, and those copies are all brought up to date whenever there is a change to the blockchain that can be verified. The data about transactions, previous blocks, addresses, and the code that performs the transactions and keeps the blockchain operational are all stored in the blockchain's blocks. The blockchain is made up of these blocks. The way in which data is organized is one of the primary distinctions that can be drawn between a traditional database and a blockchain. A blockchain organizes the data it stores into groups called blocks, and each block can store a specific set of data. When a block's storage capacity is used up, it is sealed off and connected to the block that came before it. This creates a chain of data that is referred to as the blockchain. Blocks have varying capacities. All of the newly received data that comes after a block that has just been added to the blockchain is assembled into a newly formed block, which, after it is completed, is likewise added to the chain. So, in short, the information included in a database is typically organized into tables. But the information contained in a blockchain is organized into blocks that are linked together. Well, that's all for today's video. Feel free to ask your questions about Bitcoin and blockchain in the comments section below. See you in the next video.